There's an affirmation that billionaires whisper before bed. An affirmation that attracts more money in 8 hours of sleep than most people make in a year of work. Louise Hay discovered this secret when she was invited to dinner at the home of one of the wealthiest men in the world. And what she heard that night forever changed her understanding of how true wealth is created. You work 12 hours a day and barely make ends meet. Meanwhile, there are people who sleep 8 hours and wake up richer than when they went to bed. It's not luck. It's not inheritance. It's a specific technique that the financial elite guards closely. Louise Hay was giving a lecture in New York City when she was approached by a well-dressed man who introduced himself only as an investor. He invited her to a private dinner with people who might be interested in her work. Louise didn't know she was being invited to an ultra-secret circle of billionaires, a monthly gathering to share strategies that you won't find in any business book. At that table were the heads of corporate giants, founders of billion-dollar companies, investors who moved trillions. And Louise was there as a spiritual consultant to understand how they really functioned. What she discovered that night was shocking. These men and women didn't spend all day working. In fact, they worked fewer hours than most people. But they had a secret that exponentially multiplied every hour invested. They worked while they slept. One of the billionaires present told Louise, "Ordinary people think wealth is created during the day with conscious effort. We know that wealth is created at night with unconscious programming." Louise was intrigued. How do you work while sleeping? That's when she discovered something that would change her life and the lives of millions. These ultra-rich individuals used their sleep not just to rest, but to reprogram their subconscious minds so that they would literally wake up different, with new mental programming, with new neural connections, with a new ability to perceive and create opportunities. While you sleep, your subconscious processes 8 hours of information. We simply direct what kind of information it will process, explained one of the female billionaires present. Louise Hay discovered there's a specific window during sleep where the brain becomes hyper-receptive to programming, a window that lasts exactly 15 minutes and occurs at the moment of transition between wakefulness and deep sleep. And during this window, a specific affirmation, spoken correctly, can reprogram decades of scarcity conditioning in a single night. But here's what most impressed Louise. The affirmation they used wasn't anything like she expected. It wasn't about attracting money or being prosperous. It was something much deeper and more powerful. The affirmation was about identity, not circumstance. One of the investors explained, "Poor people try to attract money while remaining mentally poor. We become mentally rich, and money is just a natural consequence." Louise Hay spent 3 hours at that table listening to secrets that had never been revealed publicly. How they synchronized affirmations with REM cycles. How they used sleep to solve complex business problems. How they woke up with solutions their conscious minds could never create. But most importantly, she discovered the exact affirmation they all used, with minor personal variations, but maintaining the fundamental structure that activated what they called billionaire mode in the subconscious. When Louise left that dinner, she knew she had information that could democratize wealth creation. But she also knew she needed to test it on herself before teaching it to others. For a month, she applied exactly the technique she had learned. She used the specific affirmation at the exact moment of transition to sleep. And the results were so dramatic she almost didn't believe them. In 30 days, her income tripled. Not because she worked more. In fact, she worked less. But because she woke up every day with extraordinary mental clarity about what actions to take, what opportunities to pursue, what decisions to make. It was as if during sleep her mind processed information in a completely new way, waking up with a plan of action for the day that invariably resulted in prosperity. Louise discovered that the secret wasn't just in the affirmation. It was in how to synchronize the affirmation with the brain's natural cycles during sleep. Dr. Matthew Walker, a neuroscientist from Berkeley, later confirmed that during REM sleep, the brain reorganizes memories and consolidates new thought patterns. Louise Hay had discovered how to hack this natural process to install abundance programming. But she went beyond science. She discovered something that not even neuroscientists knew. There's a specific affirmation that resonates at the exact frequency of the subconscious during sleep and accelerates reprogramming by 1000%. The affirmation the billionaires used had a very specific structure. It began with a redefinition of identity. It continued with a command to the subconscious. It ended with emotional anchoring. It had to be spoken exactly at the moment you feel yourself falling asleep. Not before, not after. At the exact moment of transition, Louise tested this technique with hundreds of people. The results were so consistent that she decided to document everything and publicly reveal what the financial elite kept secret. Mark, an accountant from Los Angeles, was in debt and working 14 hours a day without being able to get out of the red. When Louise taught him the technique, he was skeptical. How can sleeping solve my financial problems? But he decided to try it out of desperation. In the first week using the billionaire's affirmation, he had an idea during a dream that solved a complex problem for a client. The client was so impressed that he doubled the contract value. In the second week, Mark woke up with complete clarity on how to renegotiate his debts, a strategy he had never consciously thought of, but which worked perfectly. By the end of the month, not only had he gotten out of debt, but he had started investing. It was like I woke up every day more financially intelligent, he told me, and that's exactly the transformation that happens. The affirmation doesn't magically attract money during sleep. It reprograms your financial acumen so that you wake up with expanded mental capabilities. Emily was a freelance designer who lived from project to project, always in instability. When she applied Louise Hay's technique, she began to wake up with ideas to diversify her income. In just 2 months, she'd created 3 passive income streams she never knew were possible for her professional profile. While I slept, my creative mind multiplied, she told me. The secret Louise discovered is that ultra-wealthy individuals don't just sleep to rest. They sleep to evolve. Each night is an opportunity to awaken a smarter, more creative, more prosperous version of themselves. And this is possible because during sleep, specifically during REM sleep, the brain accesses neural connections that remain blocked during waking hours by the conscious mind. It's as if during the day you only have access to 10% of your financial acumen, and during properly programmed sleep, you access the other 90%. That's why billionaires guard this secret so closely. Because if everyone knew how to work while they sleep, their competitive advantage would vanish. But Louise Hay decided to democratize this information. She believed that abundance is everyone's right, not the privilege of a few. Robert, a businessman from Denver, had been stuck in a rut for 3 years. Even working tirelessly, he couldn't seem to get ahead. When he learned the technique of programmed sleep, everything changed. I started waking up with solutions that would never have occurred to me during the day. He told me, in 6 months, his company grew by 400%. Not because he worked more, but because every decision he made was smarter, more strategic. The Billionaire's affirmation had reprogrammed not only his relationship with money, but his ability to make high-level decisions. And that's the real difference between rich and poor. It's not the amount of work, it's the quality of thought. And quality of thought can be programmed during sleep. Louise discovered that there are 3 layers of programming that occur when you use the correct affirmation. First layer, reprogramming beliefs about deservingness. Second layer, expanding the perception of opportunities. Third layer, developing strategic intelligence. Each layer activates at different times during the sleep cycle, and the specific affirmation that billionaires use activates all 3 layers simultaneously. That's why the results are so powerful. You don't just change one thing, you change the entire operating system of your financial mind. Anna was working 3 jobs to support her family and could barely make ends meet. It seemed impossible to escape that situation. When she discovered Louise Hay's technique, she thought it was crazy rich people stuff. But she decided to try because she had nothing to lose. In 15 days of using the affirmation during sleep, she had the courage to ask for a raise at all 3 jobs, something she'd never done in 10 years of working. Result, she got a raise at 2 jobs and a promotion at the 3rd. Her income increased by 70% without working a single extra hour. The affirmation gave me a confidence I never knew existed within me. She told me, Louise Hay discovered that the affirmation doesn't just change thoughts. It changes presence. It changes energy. It changes how people perceive you and respond to you. Because when you sleep programming abundance, you wake up vibrating abundance. And abundance attracts abundance automatically. Carlos was a salesman who never met his quota. He always averaged, never excelled. When he started using the Billionaire's affirmation, something radically changed in his presence during sales. Clients started trusting me instantly. Closings that used to take weeks started happening in the first conversation. He reported, in 3 months, he became the #1 salesman in the company. Not because he changed his sales technique, but because he changed the energy he emanated. The affirmation had reprogrammed not only his mind, but his electromagnetic energy, and people perceive energy long before they perceive words. Now I'm going to reveal to you the exact affirmation that Louise Hay discovered at that billionaire's table, and how to use it to transform your nights into a wealth creation laboratory. The affirmation that changed the lives of billionaires, and that will change yours too, is this: I am a natural magnet for infinite abundance. My subconscious works 24/7, creating million-dollar opportunities, and I awaken renewed with the mind of a true wealth builder. Seems simple? Louise Hay spent months analyzing why these words work better than any other combination. Each word was chosen with surgical precision. I am, because it reprograms identity at a fundamental level. It's not, I want to be, or I will be. It's, I am in the present tense, forcing the subconscious to accept it as current reality. Natural magnet, because it activates the law of attraction at an energetic level. You don't have to strive to attract. You simply are a magnet that attracts automatically. Infinite abundance, because it removes internal limitations. It's not some money or enough money. It's abundance without a ceiling, without limits. My subconscious works 24/7 because it programs your mind to work continuously. even when you're not consciously thinking about money. Creating million-dollar opportunities because it directs the focus to high-value opportunities, not small incremental improvements. Awaken renewed because each morning you access an expanded version of yourself. Mind of a true wealth builder because it installs the identity and thought patterns of the ultra-wealthy. But here's the secret that makes all the difference. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it, when you say it, and in what state you are when you say it. Louise Hay discovered that there is a specific protocol that amplifies the power of the affirmation by 1,000%. The Complete Billionaires Protocol. Preparation, 30 minutes before sleep. Turn off all electronic devices. Blue light interferes with melatonin production and blocks the subconscious's receptivity. Take a warm bath, imagining you're washing away all the day's energy of lack. Visualize the water taking away worries, fears, and financial anxieties. Wear clothes that make you feel prosperous. Even if it's just pajamas, choose the best you have. Your external energy influences your internal programming. Activation, 15 minutes before sleep. Lie down comfortably, eyes closed, and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, relax specific muscles. First the face, then the neck, then the arms, then the torso, then the legs. When you feel your body completely relaxed, visualize a golden light entering through the top of your head and filling your entire body. This light represents the infinite abundance available in the universe. Now count from 10 to 1, imagining that with each number you descend a step on a golden staircase that leads to your subconscious. When you reach stage 1, you're in the deepest part of your mind, where permanent changes can be made. The programming, at the precise moment of transition. Here's the crucial timing that separates amateurs from masters. You must speak the affirmation exactly at the moment you feel yourself falling asleep. It's a specific physical sensation, that transition between wakefulness and sleep. At that precise moment, whisper the affirmation just once, but with complete conviction. I am a natural magnet for infinite abundance. My subconscious works 24/7, creating million-dollar opportunities, and I wake up refreshed with the mind of a true wealth builder. After speaking, don't think about anything else. Let yourself fall into natural sleep, trusting that your subconscious has received the programming and will work throughout the night, implementing this new reality. Morning activation, first 5 minutes upon waking. Before you even open your eyes completely, repeat the affirmation 3 times, mentally. This anchors the nighttime programming into your daytime consciousness. Then, before getting out of bed, ask your subconscious 3 questions. What opportunity will I recognize today? What intelligent action will I take? What prosperous decision will I make? Don't force answers. Just ask the questions and trust that the answers will appear naturally throughout the day. Emily, an architect from Los Angeles, was on the verge of bankruptcy. Clients were disappearing. Projects were canceled. Bills were piling up. When she learned the complete protocol, she was skeptical, but desperate enough to try anything. First week, she started waking up with creative ideas to reach new clients, ideas she'd never had before. Second week, a former client called offering a project she didn't even know was available. Project that saved the month. Third week, she had the courage to raise her prices for the first time in 5 years, and she didn't lose a single client. Fourth week, She received 3 unsolicited referrals from satisfied clients. It was like I woke up every day more confident and more strategic, Emily told me. My professional personality completely changed. Mark was a rideshare driver working 16 hours a day to support his family. When he discovered the protocol, he thought it was ridiculous. How is an affirmation going to increase rides? But he decided to test it because it couldn't hurt. In the first week, he started waking up with insights about more efficient routes, more profitable hours, strategies to increase tips. In the second week, he had an idea during sleep to create a premium service for executives, an idea that had never crossed his mind before. In 2 months, he had transformed his driving job into an executive transportation company. His income tripled while working half the hours. The affirmation didn't change the outside world. It changed how I saw opportunities that were always there, he told me. Louise Hay discovered that this is exactly the magic of the protocol. It doesn't create opportunities out of thin air. It reprograms your perception to recognize opportunities that your old mind was incapable of seeing. Fernanda worked at a clothing store earning minimum wage. She always dreamed of having her own business, but never had the courage or the capital. After a month of using the affirmation, she woke up one day with complete clarity on how to start selling used clothes online. A complete strategy, from suppliers to marketing, came during sleep. In 6 months, her online income had surpassed her store salary. In a year, she opened her own boutique. During sleep, my entrepreneurial mind was activated. A mind I didn't even know existed within me, she told me. But Louise Hay discovered something even more powerful. She realized there's a turbocharged version of the affirmation for people who want to dramatically accelerate results. Advanced version for exponential multiplication. I am a divine channel of unlimited prosperity. My subconscious connects with the infinite intelligence of the universe to manifest wealth on a $1 million scale. And I wake up daily with a new level of financial genius that transforms everything I touch into gold. This version activates not only the attraction of money, but financial genius. You wake up not only with more opportunities, but with superior intelligence to maximize each opportunity. Richard was an insurance salesman with mediocre performance. He used the basic version for 2 months, with good results. When he switched to the advanced version, something extraordinary happened. He began waking up with sales strategies that seemed to come from another level of intelligence, techniques he had never studied, insights into client psychology that were almost supernatural. In 3 months using the advanced version, he became the #1 salesman not only in his company, but in the entire region. It was like I had access to an intelligence that wasn't my own. He told me. Louise Hay explained that the advanced version connects you with what she called the collective mind of the great financial masters. During sleep, you access the thought patterns of all the great wealth creators in history. Carla was a freelance accountant with few clients. When she started using the advanced version, she began waking up with revolutionary ideas on how to expand her accounting services. She created consulting packages that no other accountant in the region offered. She developed automated systems that multiplied her service capacity without increasing working hours. In a year, she had transformed her individual office into a company with 12 employees and a waiting list of clients. The affirmation connected me with a business creativity I didn't know I possessed, she told me. But there's an even higher level that Louise Hay revealed only to her most advanced students. The protocol she called the Supreme Billionaire Code. Supreme Protocol, only for those who have mastered the previous versions. For 21 consecutive days, in addition to the main affirmation, you add a specific visualization during sleep. You see yourself sleeping in a bed made of pure gold, in a room inside a giant vault full of money. During sleep, waves of abundance enter your pores and reprogram every cell of your body to operate at a millionaire frequency. You visualize yourself waking up and leaving the vault already transformed into a billionaire version of yourself. A version that thinks, acts, decides, and vibrates like the greatest wealth creators on the planet. Paul, a businessman from Washington, D.C., did the Supreme Protocol and reported changes that seemed impossible. My personality completely changed. I started making business decisions that I would never have had the courage to make before. In 21 days, he had closed strategic partnerships that multiplied his company by 10. It felt like a completely different person was making decisions, from a level of confidence I'd never experienced before. Louise Hay always warned that the Supreme Protocol should only be used by those who've mastered the earlier versions. It's like trying to drive a Ferrari without knowing how to drive a regular car, she'd say. But for those ready, the results are truly transformative. Julia did the Supreme Protocol, and within 30 days, she'd created an online business that generated more in a week than her old job paid in a month. I can't rationally explain what happened, she said. I just woke up one day with complete clarity about a business model I'd never even considered before. And it worked immediately. The truth Louise Hay uncovered is that we all have access to the same infinite intelligence that billionaires tap into. The difference is they know how to program their subconscious, while sleeping, to consistently access that intelligence. When you master this technique, you literally sleep poor and wake up rich. Not in the immediate literal sense, but in terms of mindset, energy, perception, and capacity for action. And when you have a rich mindset, rich energy, rich perception, and rich capacity for action, physical money is just a natural and inevitable consequence. The affirmation is here. The protocol has been revealed. The billionaire's secret is no longer a secret. The only question remaining is, will you use the next 8 hours of sleep to work on creating your wealth? Or will you waste another night that could transform your life? Louise Hay used to say, "While ordinary people rest during sleep, extraordinary people evolve during sleep. Your financial evolution begins. Tonight, your affirmation is ready. Your protocol is set. If this video reached you, it's because you're ready to join the elite who know how to turn sleep into prosperity. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because secrets like this are only shared with those truly committed to transformation. Remember the last words Louise Hay overheard at that table of billionaires. Money never sleeps. Why would you sleep without working for it? Your wealth is waiting for you to fall asleep. Good night, and good fortune."